Very good evening, dear friends. In this lesson, we will deal with the several legislations which are connected with the investments and securities in India, which they regulate. The regulator of stock markets, the securities happens to be the SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. For dispute resolution on company matters and then IBC and then revival of Sikh industries, you had to go to the National Company Tribunal, followed by the NCLAT, Appellate Tribunal and the Supreme Court with regard to direct transactions pertaining to the securities and then the other issues thereon connected with securities and then penalties levied against the intermediaries, etc. You will have to go to the for dispute resolution. You will have to go to the SAT, Securities Appellate Tribunal, Bombay. So there are several laws which have been enacted to regulate the capital markets in India. Earlier it was the Capital Issues Control Act which has been repealed. So now presently it is not in vogue. So we had to first come to the Companies Act 2013. The concept of shares and debentures emanate from the company legislation, and you find the references to shares, debentures and the stock thereon. And the first legislation in India on the shares and debentures happened to be the Joint Stock Companies Act 1850, which was subsequently replaced after independence by the Companies Act 1956. Then this was further replaced by the Companies Act 2013. Under this legislation, 2013 Act, the regulatory framework on corporate governance was strengthened, and the basis of the securities generate from this legislation. This Act deals with the issues of allotment, transfer, and transmission of securities. Apart from dealing with the other aspects of corporate governance, transfer is in between inter vivos, two living persons, and transmission is from the estate of the deceased person to the legal heirs. It also deals with the public issue of capital, the regulation of underwriting, issues on premium and discounts, rights and bonus issues, dividends, furnishing of various reports and information to the register of companies and shareholders. Then, friends, the next legislation connected with the stock market, the securities, happens to be the Securities and Exchange Board of India Act 1992. This enactment aims at providing a board called the SEBI, that is the Securities and Exchange Board of India, for protecting the interest of investors in securities, promoting the development of the securities market, the regulating of the securities market, controlling the intermediaries. Then under this legislation, several rules and regulations were framed. Then the SEBI has been given full independence and authority to ensure an orderly running of the securities market in this country. The third one happens to the Securities Contracts Regulation Act 1956, which provides for process of recognition to stock exchange and its continued supervision, contract in securities, listing of securities on stock exchanges, and then listing agreement. Then appropriate rules also have been framed in this regard. Then the next fourth legislation is the Depositories Act 1996. Today everything has to be in demat form, that is dematerialization form, that is called it's in fungible condition. So this enactment provides for the establishment of depositories in securities with the object of ensuring free transferability of shares, securities, shares, goods and debentures also. Then it also provides for transferability of securities with speed, accuracy and security. This is the most important aspect. Then friends, it provides for dematerialization and rematerialization. Today all listed companies, it should be in fungible form, demat. This act further envisages the transfer of ownership of securities electronically by book entry without making the securities move from one person to another person. In fact, I tell you a very practical example. In a particular case, I had to take a succession certificate where they said all the shares, debentures must be filed in the court. There would be a lorry load of material running into lakhs and lakhs and lakhs. So, because of this Depositories Act, they are all in demat form. just one piece of paper was sufficient. I might have paid the court fees, but one piece of paper saying this companies, this is the shares, present market value, total so and so lakhs. Finish. That is the way the depositories can help us. This is my practical experience as a lawyer. So Depositories Act 1996 in fact has got a very great significance. Then the next one is the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. This legislation aims at conservation and management of foreign exchange, and it has got a very high relevance to the operation of securities. Which also, that is, this act also defines the term security. Then the last but not least, the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. This legislation aims at prevention of money laundering and provide for confiscation of property derived from or involved in money laundering and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereon. And this enactment applies to the intermediaries like the stock brokers. So friends, this Prevention of Money Laundering Act is also extremely important today. Certain activities would come under this legislation and would be termed as money laundering, then will ultimately attract the penal provisions. So with this background, we conclude our discussion on this particular introductory topics of law of investments and securities, where the corporate and securities laws, the introductory part I have completed. And then in our next session, I will take up straight the SEBI, the Securities and Exchange Board of India Act, and then I will deal with that appropriately. So thank you very much, my dear friends, and then we'll meet very soon again. Good night. Bye-bye.